Hello, and welcome back. My name is Glenn, bringing you another video about the Pittsburgh Steelers. After a horrible first half offensively against the New York Jets, head coach Mike Tomlin calls in rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett to play the second half. Initially, the Steelers' offense gets a spark, scoring 2 touchdowns, taking the lead 20-10. Quarterback Zach Wilson of the New York Jets mounts a fourth quarter comeback to win 24-10. This leaves the Steelers now 1-3, looking to enter back against the leading Super Bowl contenders, Buffalo Bills. Let's take a chance to look back on what the Steelers can do now to hopefully come back into the playoff conversations and see what we can learn from Kenny Pickett's first regular season snaps. The Steelers offensively in the first half were not efficient, going 1 for 6 on third down, and then a costly interception by Mitch Trubisky just made a bad day horrible. Mike Tomlin was forced to play Kenny Pickett because when you're facing the New York Jets and only put up 6 points in one half, changes have to be made. This situation was also similar to when in the 2019 season when rookie quarterback then Mason Rudolph was benched at the halftime for undrafted rookie quarterback Devlin Duck Hodges after the first half in that game was horrible too. Like Tomlin has said in previous interviews that you cannot live in your own fears, and being an inefficient offense is one of those fears. So he finally made the change of putting in his young first round QB in the spotlight now in the present. I think we got a pretty good preview of what we can be seeing in this season with Kenny Pickett making tough throws in the pocket over the middle of the field to Pat Freiermuth in the red zone. Also, drawing at defensive players was pretty fun too afterwards. And we will also be seeing those rookie mistakes as well with the costly interception to Freiermuth that should have been just thrown out of bounds. But in that second half, the offense was 5 for 6 on third down. A complete turnaround when you compare it to the first half with Mitch Trubisky. Also, there were key plays being made by rookie wide receiver George Pickens, catching 6 passes going for 102 yards after a slow start to the season. He is showing why the Steelers drafted him in the second round. The Pickett to Pickens connection will be huge for the rest of the season, and so will be running back Najee Harris. Seemed to be more efficient in the second half, but only rushed for 74 yards. With Pickett in, game plans offensively will have to be more Najee-centric. Rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle mightily when they don't have a run game, because the run game allows for more play-action passes and also to use bootlegs and more often, so the defense has to keep their eyes on Najee, and also allows for extra time for Pickett. In the game, Kenny looks like the guy, just needs to clean up those interceptions. And it seems like after the game that the players are now behind him as well, with Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth saying, quote, "I think with Kenny in there, we were able to be the aggressor. Obviously, some mistakes are going to happen. Tipped balls and all that kind of stuff. But we have to continue to work past that and be there for Kenny, especially since he's a young guy." And then wide receiver Deontay Johnson said too, he played with swag when he came in the huddle. He demands huddle up, come in, listen. Everybody respects him. He's a great player and he's young, going and continue to learn and develop. These quotes were from ESPN Steelers reporter Brooke Fryer, so all credit goes to her. But as you can see, we can quite a difference between Pickett and Trubisky when players are talking about them. Also, there is a difference of emotions after a play, as we saw after the in post plays that wide receivers were getting frustrated that they weren't getting the ball because they were open on passing concepts. And then with Pickett, it seemed like the offense just had a lot more energy. It was, you had the crowd chanting Kenny, and this transition, it probably should have happened sooner, but with Mike Tomlin, he had to be for sure about the decision to put in a rookie quarterback because it is such a big risk of putting in your most valuable stock almost in this first round pick that you still aren't for sure about at this point, and you still got a very serviceable veteran quarterback. These will just be things that Tomlin had to learn throughout the season, with now Pickett and Trubisky benched. But when you compare Pickett and Trubisky's performances, the offense just had more opportunities. But Kenny, he wasn't afraid to push the ball downfield, launching his first pass to Chase Claypool, who sadly couldn't come down with the ball. He overall has much better understanding of coverages than Trubisky, and I like how Pickett attacks the middle of the field. Some cons were his pocket presence, but every rookie quarterback has an issue. He still stood in the pocket and made some high-level plays, but when you look back on the tip ball front that ended up being intercepted, I just wish he stayed in the pocket. There seemed to be a lot more room there, and he just got nervous and decided to get out of the pocket. And the offensive line was giving him a chance to throw over the middle of the field to Johnson. But these will just be some mistakes that come with being a rookie in the NFL. As a whole, with the offense, they will look much better with Pickett and a quarterback. I do feel bad for Trubisky as someone who is from the Chicago suburbs. He was thrown into the spotlight way too soon, being drafted second overall and basically taking the boost from fans when the Bears were underperforming. When I talked to my local Bears fans and friends, they still aren't happy with the organization when you could have had Patrick Mahomes as your franchise QB. But the Bears still have a chance with Justin Fields becoming that franchise quarterback. But in the case of Trubisky, he was coming into a better situation with Pittsburgh, but then they drafted Kenny Pickett, basically the hometown kid, even though he's from New Jersey. And the Steelers fans don't like underperforming QB play, and weren't too gun shy about showing their displeasure as well. Trubisky can still help out this team by giving the offense the leadership they need. Kenny needs the support from surrounding players and coaches, and Trubisky will still be the captain, which is kind of strange. So he'll still go out there for coin tosses, but that will be something to talk about later on in a few weeks with how that's going on. And now for the defense. Well, when you have the highest paid defense and give up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, there's not much to take away from the final quarter except live and learn. It was an awful performance to end the game, and that makes the Steelers 0-7 when TJ Watt isn't on the field. The defense made Jets quarterback Zach Wilson throw 2 interceptions and only completed 50% of his passes, but situationally, the defense just fell apart late. The worst conversion I can think of was the 4th and 7 when the Steelers were leading 20-10 early in the fourth quarter in Steeler territory. The issue is, in this game, unlike in the other two games, the Steelers were getting pressure alone. The Jets had their third or fourth string tackles playing, but Zach Wilson's mobility was able to escape the pocket. Cam Hayward has been slightly underperforming without Watt because pass protections and game plan scheming has focused on Hayward, and that's leaving younger players such as Alex Highsmith to try and be a difference maker. Bright spot on this defense is that Miles Jack is doing very good at the middle linebacker position, making sideline and sideline plays and tackles. But this defense is desperately needs TJ Watt back. Hopefully, after this week's game against the Bills, he can play against the Buccaneers. Defensively, they will need to find more consistency when Watt is out, because you can't just rely on one player to carry your defense. The system needs to be set up for everyone, not just Watt. Also, during this game, there were a ton of injuries in the secondary, most notably Minka Fitzpatrick, Levi Wallace, Terrell Edmonds. Akella Witherspoon was out for this game from the week before against the Browns. He's still dealing with the ankle injury. So this defense is very banged up, and the schedule's not getting much easier for them. They'll have to step up in these games. But yeah, what do the Steelers do now? Going into one of the toughest 4-game stretches, playing this week the Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills, next week the Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. And then you go to Miami to play one of the most explosive offenses in the league, led by 2 speedsters in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And then, after that, you play the right now undefeated Philadelphia Eagles at 4-0, who have just been on a demolishing opponents almost. They dominate in the trenches, and Jalen Hurts is showing that he is that franchise QB and has all the intangibles to lead their offense and get them to a playoff run maybe. And then we just got the announcement a day ago that Kenny Pickett will be the Steelers starter going ahead for the rest of the season. So you're now playing a rookie quarterback. If you don't remember, on paper, these games aren't winnable. The Steelers need to get a win at all costs in these crucial games if they want a chance at the playoff appearance. I've been nervous before as a fan, but this is a scary thought that the Steelers could possibly have a losing season if these games don't go right. At least we will get to see what Pickett has got to show us. And the season wasn't supposed to be Super Bowl bust, but I thought at least this team might play 500 ball. And no one expected TJ Watt to go out after the first game for month and a half with a pectoral injury that was a main cause for these past 3 losses almost, because defensively they haven't been able to control the game, and offensively they knew that it was going to be an uphill battle with them, and with so many new faces over there, it was just going to be overall a hard time getting through this season. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please like, comment down below your thoughts as Steelers go into the toughest part of their season. How you thought Kenny Pickett did in his debut with the Steelers. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay classy, Steeler Nation.